Hello, Norfolk enjoyers. I'm Steph.
And I'm Andrew.
And you are listening to episode 12 of season 3 of the Norfolk and Good podcast. Over the past 36 episodes of the Norfolk and Good podcast.
36?
I know.
That's amazing.
I know.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of Norfolk chat in us, haven't we, Andrew? We've talked about a lot of Norfolk things, haven't we?
Yes.
All sorts of days out, places to visit, historical things. And we realised that one sort of subject that we hadn't really covered in depth, but that actually we've done a lot of enjoying of.
Yes, one of our favourites.
Absolutely. Was our Norfolk museums.
Yeah.
And do you know, under the Norfolk Museum Service, there are 10 museums. Can you guess? Stroke name them all?
Well, I didn't know you were testing me.
do you want me to?
I can
Life
name
is a
them.
test.
I
Go
can
on and
name
see.
them.
Go on and
I
hit
can
me.
name. Right, at 10, yeah?
Yeah.
10, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Okay.
Norwich Castle.
Yep. Obviously. Yep.
Time Tide.
Yep. One of our faves.
Yep.
Both our faves,
Yeah.
actually. Yeah. Yeah.
Gresnall.
Yes. Can you tell me where they are as well for the listeners, please?
Oh my goodness.
They might not have been before.
Well, I should have started locally.
Yeah.
Okay, Norwich Castle.
Yeah.
Norwich.
Okay. I think that's a bit sarcastic. Okay. Yeah.
Time Tide is in Yarmouth, Great Yarmouth.
Great Yarmouth, yeah.
Also in Great Yarmouth, I think it may be one, is the Toll House.
Yes, yeah.
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 Is another one.
Yeah.
The Elizabethan House.
Yes.
In Great Yarmouth as well.
Yeah.
So that's those covered, I think, in Great Yarmouth.
Yeah.
Gressenhall, which is in Gressenhall.
Yeah.
Near Durham.
Yeah.
Yep.
How many have you counted? Is that 5?
Yeah, we've got the Bridewell, which is the museum in Norwich.
Yes, yeah.
In Norwich.
Yeah.
Strangers Hall in
Yeah.
Norwich. I'm not counting up, are you counting up? Ancient House. Ancient
Yes.
House. Where's that? Thetford, is it?
I think. Yeah.
Thetford?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've got 2 more.
2. 2 more.
This is fascinating listening for us.
Yeah.
One's on the
Tell-
coast. Cromer Museum.
Okay. Of course, Cromer and Lynn Museum.
Yes.
In King's Lynn.
Lynn Museum in King's Lynn.
Yeah.
So spread all around the county, West Norfolk, East Norfolk, Norwich and North Norfolk.
Yeah. My brain is worn out now.
They're fabulous. So what we realised was that of those 10 museums, we've visited pretty much all of them, some multiple times, and that they warrant a discussion, really, a deeper discussion. So we've decided we're going to split this Norfolk Museums podcast into 2.
Very good. Yes.
Much like we did the Norfolk Coast when we did that earlier back in
too big a
season
topic.
2. It is. It's too big a topic. But not only that, it deserves more time. Shouldn't just be rushed through.
No.
Because it is a fantastic... The days out at Norfolk Museums are one aspect of these amazing assets to our county, but also, obviously, the connection to our history.
Yeah.
You know, and so I think they deserve a bit of depth.
Definitely.
We also asked our Instagram audience about their favourite museums.
Okay, yeah.
And as ever, they fantastically came back with lots of excellent answers. So this was from our Enjoying Norfolk Instagram. Maximilian Lobster said Norwich Castle because that's where they started their career. Interesting. I don't know what their career is. I mean, they are now a lobster. So... So we might have to delve a bit deeper.
Yeah, we should ask.
DJS Polisher said Strangers Hall because I see something different every time I visit.
Ooh.
Oh, that's such a good answer, isn't it? I love that, and that is the great thing about museums.
It is.
Ruth_Hannay55 said Gresson Hall because I love social history. Yeah, absolutely.
Very good.
Love
that.
Yeah. Nemo Drinker said Sheringham because it's deceiving from the outside, but a TARDIS with so much more inside for its size. Plus, got a viewing tower.
Yes, well, we do have to mention the ones we were discussing. They are part of the Norfolk Museum.
Norfolk Museum Service, aren't they?
Yes.
Yeah.
But there are
others as well.
Other museums
just
as well.
Scratching the museum surface. Yeah. Is the Sheringham Museum formerly known as the Mo?
Yeah, it is
still known as the Mo.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a great museum as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, and then we've got Boudica Blue 14 said Norwich Castle. We went every Saturday as kids, and I've taken my 3 boys too. Fabulous. And that leads us nicely, and not at all planned, into what we thought was... So we thought of those Norfolk museums that we've listed, Norwich Castle is a huge fan favourite. It's a kind of icon of certainly the city of Norwich, possibly the wider county, but certainly the city of Norwich. It is an iconic castle.
Yep.
Everyone has memories there dating back from school trips they might have taken, and you know, we went as children, and now we've taken our children, and as they've grown up, we've been probably hundreds of times, haven't we?
Fabulous place.
Never had a bad day out, and like DJS Polisher said about Strangers Hall, you see something different every time you visit, and that's incredible, I think. But we thought it'd be better to talk to two people about things that are happening at Norwich Castle, because there's lots of exciting stuff underway, isn't there?
Yes.
Who are far better placed than us. So we thought we'd have a chat with Anna McCarthy, who is Norwich Museum's Children and Family Programmes Manager, and Dr. Rosie Gray, who is a curator of modern and contemporary art at Norwich Castle. How fabulous! I know, amazing jobs. And we also we did it in situ.
We did, for the first time. We ventured out.
Well, to be honest, so since we started the podcast in January 2020, we were mostly in lockdown.
Yeah, we couldn't go out anyway.
Yeah, we conducted a lot of our interviews virtually, and we thought, in order to add another dimension of interest to what we do, possibly ill-advised, we'd go out and about and do some of our podcasts in situ, so that you, our fabulous audience, could get a bit of an understanding and appreciation for the actual atmosphere. Yeah. So now you'll hear every door bang, car going past, plane overhead, and all the other sounds in between. So we're out and about today.
We are, yes.
Once we've left the confines of enjoying Norfolk HQ, and we're at Norwich Castle. And if you can hear an echo, it's because we are in one of the gallery spaces, and at the moment it is waiting to be transformed, which we'll perhaps have a little talk about later on. But we're here with Anna McCarthy, who is Norwich Museum's Children and Family Programme Manager, and also Dr. Rosie Gray, Curator of Modern and Contemporary Art. Is that Norfolk Museums or Norwich Castle only?
Norwich Castle, specifically.
Fabulous. So thank you very much for meeting with us today.
Lovely to be here.
Good.
Anna, we'll start with you first. So perhaps could you just explain for our listeners just a little bit about your role and what you do at Norwich Castle?
I can, and it's interesting. I think just like everybody's experienced, life has changed so much recently. So the trajectory we were on in terms of what we did at Norwich Castle and how the castle has changed. It's not just to do with COVID, which we all know about, but also we are in the middle of a multi-million-pound National Lottery Heritage funded transformation here at Norwich Castle. So that's had a massive impact on what we do and how we do it. And of course, COVID has riptide it across and really changed how we do things, which is great in terms of new opportunities that it's brought, doing more outreach work, doing more partnership work, really exciting things going on. As part of the big build that we've got going on here, we have an activity plan which is... Your listeners can't see this, but I am holding my fingers 2 inches apart. There's that many pages on it. So we're working our way through the activities, which are kind of the central premise of that is that we're really re-establishing and re-identifying Norwich Castle centrally as its identity. So a lot of the programmes we're doing are about really helping people to understand the heritage of the castle, as well as us being very busy planning for what the future of it will be as well. So,
and did the build start before COVID?
That's what I was going to ask. Yes. Was it planned? So you sort of talked a bit about the Royal Palace Reborn project, which is a big transformation. Yeah. Was that always going to happen, or was it happening and then COVID happened?
It was happening and then COVID happened. It's actually been in development a long way before any activity began. Yeah. So you tend to go around, certainly with large sums of money, several rounds of funding. I feel like I've been thinking about it for some time now. So yes, and it was, in fact, we devised a big programme working with South Wales and National Youth Dance Company and some of our local dance and movement companies called Fight or Flight, and that was designed to celebrate the keep as it has been before it closed, and that took place in October 2019.
Goodness gracious, just in there. Lucky, very lucky.
Then there came some lulls, as you might expect. So I think it's interesting. what we've been experiencing here, but worldwide there's just so many changes at the moment. So, and of course that affects everything we do, as with anybody else.
Definitely, massive kind of situation of just change, just flux.
Massive change.
Yeah.
In terms of my own particular role, just to come back to your question, as I mentioned, reasons for why it's different now, but essentially we'll be working with very clear priorities about what we want to offer to our children and family audiences. So there's, we're looking at things which are inspired by our permanent collections, temporary exhibitions, partnerships with other museums. They could be national days such as Heritage Open Days. So we're actually engaged in a number of different levels to create, hopefully, a kind of a large programme which is really meeting all of our audience's needs with all the diversity that they bring and the responses to that are required and appropriate. And that can be holiday programmes. Lectures, workshops. We have some amazing art clubs. We have some amazing nightclubs, which is of course linked into our Keep Activity Plan, but that was actually in the process before. We work. We try to be quite progressive here. We've had some video work where we've been exploring, working with some of the galleries and Rosie's works and other curators about how do these works make us feel.
It's really good to tie it all in, isn't it?
With the
gallery collections.
It really is.
And get the
Bring it
kids
to
involved.
life. Bring it to life a bit,
Yes.
so that it's sort of it's bringing history right up into the present day, if that makes
It
sense.
is.
Or
It is.
So it's relevant now.
And I think it's about helping people to understand history, but our agendas are a lot broader than that. So we're very much linked into the well-being agenda, supporting people's life chances. We know that people who take part in cultural opportunities have better life chances. So it's really quite a complex and very valuable array of drivers, if you like, that we're thinking of when we devise our programmes and how those people will access them. And of course, the first point of anybody participating is engagement. How do you engage somebody? How do you help people to understand this is for me, or I have a relationship with that? So I like the idea of a bus, and you want to take someone somewhere and expect them to come here. You need the bus to go and pick them up and bring them there. So really thinking about what is going to connect and inspire these people to see the connection, the relationship, the value of what we offer here.
It's just at the very beginning, I think, of that. Like you said, it's just making them aware that it is for them.
That's right.
I think not even exploring that, but just so that they realise that it is something that door is open to them. And I think, and I think, particularly with Norwich Castle, obviously doing the kids and family thing is so busy. I mean, so important here. I think a lot of children's first experience of the castle might be a school trip.
Absolutely.
So and it could be their first experience of a museum.
Yes.
As well.
Yes. And that it forms part of their compulsory education is critical. So I don't work with the schools programmes, they're some of my colleagues, but we have schools in every day, they're immensely popular, and they're an opportunity for children whose backgrounds may not bring them to the museum. They come with their school, and our responsibility then isn't just about meeting curricular requirements, that's a given, that's what we'll do. It's much broader than that, so it gives them a chance to see themselves in a different way, have an experience they might never have had, revise their relationships perhaps with their peers or even, other people in their classrooms, where they can
or even their families.
Be out of the box.
They go home and tell
families.
if they aren't perhaps being taken to museums by their families, and they go home and tell them about it.
They do.
And they could come.
And then given tickets to come back with their family without cost.
We receive those.
We
our two have been to.
It's a critical thing, and even if you are a family that would bring your children to these types of cultural places and take part in those activities, it's just the spur, isn't it? It just makes it happen. So thinking about what the barriers are, whether they're financial, just being aware, or whether they're language barriers, social economic background barriers, thinking about what they are and how we're going to approach those is really important.
And really important now, obviously, I suppose, as well, with the cost of living crisis,
definitely,
more than ever, to make sure those barriers are
so important.
as low as possible, I suppose.
It's such a wonderful place to come to. It was a go-to place for us with the
have
boys,
been
wasn't it?
tens, possibly.
Yeah. And most events as
But
well.
we never tire of it. This is the
No.
wonderful thing. We never tire of visiting, and I hope our children don't either, because there's always something new to discover. And I know that sounds super cheesy, but it's true.
I think it's that. There's always something new to discover, and there's also, you're developing all the time as well. So this is the object, and you're moving, so it's almost
You see it and interact with it in different
You're
ways.
seeing it differently in different ways. There's new stories, new refractions every time that come out. So it's endlessly fascinating, and a bit like people are endlessly fascinating, because you're the lens, if you like, that's telling that, creating that particular narrative. It's a co-creation. It's between a given person and a given object. And I think that chemistry, it's like between people.
It's not static,
the
is it? It's
fascinating
very
thing.
dynamic.
It's such an exciting thing. And I think when you're in these spaces and you witness that happen with people, then you realise why you do.
I'm going to ask you about keeping it regal, because that's something that you've been involved in, I would imagine, quite a bit.
Yes.
And something that's very, very current now. But I was also going to say, before we touch on that, just going back to the last point, Norfolk Museum, we're very lucky that our museum service seems to be very dynamic, and there is always something. We've had so many fantastic exhibitions to Norwich Castle, but also the other Norfolk museums as well. There's always something going on, new initiatives. It doesn't just stand still. It's very much, it's been wonderful, the transformation of the attitude towards museums in the last kind of 20 years or so, that they aren't just dusty spaces, that they are interactive, they're hands-on, they're turning digital. We recently went to the National Maritime Museum in Greenwich, didn't we? Oh my goodness me, absolutely astonishing. I learned so much from the interactive digital displays. It's amazing. But it's so wonderful to see all of that, and obviously keeping it regal is another brick in that, that step forward.
That's right, There's been a range of projects and programmes as part of our Keep Activity Plan. So, of course, the very visual thing that everybody sees is the build taking place, but it's very much about people at the centre of what we do as well. So the build is taking place, but it's so that people have enriched experiences. And similarly with the Keep Activity Plan, it really is about, engaging more diverse audiences, making sure that this money, which is coming from the lottery fund, is really enabling as many people as possible to engage with what we're doing here and to participate and to be an active participant, to feel it belongs to them, all of these things. So keeping it regal has been a strand of that, and interestingly, the kind of aim really was to have a range of citywide events that raise the awareness of the royal heritage of Norwich Castle. So then COVID came along, we had to think, okay, how are we going to plan around such an event? Not really sure. So this has been in the planning since last autumn. And the being able to, we knew when it needed to take place, and to cover the Queen's Jubilee weekend, etc., etc. So, as many other organisations have, we decided we were going to create a citywide trail. We knew that could be participated in. We knew people could be outside, etc.
We love a trail.
We do.
We love a trail.
It's no secret that we do love a city trail, basically,
That's right. I mean, there's more strands to it than that, but that was like the basic kind of framework, if you like. So this opened last Friday in line with the festival. And it goes across 9 sites across the city centre. Each site tells you a bit about the 9 centuries of Norwich Castle. So since 1121, when King Henry visited, and the castle was ostensibly finished. Tells you about that, but in the interim, we've been working with creative groups across the city. So I think being royal and being regal is a very interesting subject. I think our sense of what that is in this country is really changing at the moment. There's an awful lot of change afoot, and of course it's been different all through centuries, geographically, etc. So the kind of the geopolitics of what being royal means, etc., has a huge part. So we're very conscious that it's potentially a sensitive issue and people have lots of diverse opinions about it. So we wanted to build into the trail a kind of an attempt at a democratisation about what regal is. Do you need to be royal to be regal?
I was going to say yes, because I imagine if you ask a lot of young people, they'd probably say, well, royalty today is what the Kardashians.
I know exactly. Well, I know exactly what they say because our pilot with young people is saying it's Marcus Rashford.
Oh.
It's Harry Styles. It's Greta Thunberg. Actually, it's my nan. Because she defends us and she's the leader of the family. So they're just eliciting all these things. So it was challenging to work in an in-depth way with schools, with the pressures on them, etc. So we've worked quite broadly with communities. We've worked with UEA drama students as part of their Year 2 outreach project. We've worked with a lot of groups with the Garage, who've been a fabulous partner of ours and we've worked with previously. So we've worked with lots of groups who've got profound learning and physical difficulties. We've worked with over 50s contemporary dance groups. We've worked with break dancers. So each poster that you go around, as well as some text, has a QR code through to this creative activity where these groups have been asked, what does being regal mean to you? And they've just come up with the most amazing things. It's been so thrilling.
Wait to see that.
I know. I had a look at the trail map last
And I love the way you bring all these other people together and groups together to do these as well.
Well, it really underpins, I think the castle really does have a special place in Norwich's, well, obviously in Norwich's history, but just in even in modern Norwich, because it's so iconic and visually it's almost like the heart of the city. And so I think, I think to this whole project and this whole build is really, it's giving an opportunity for a wider reconnection with the city.
I agree. It really feels like it's part of the recovery of the city. Yes. So, and we're really thinking about people's well-being and all the things that means. Being connected, participating, being active, and
feeling important, feeling part of something.
Feeling recognised. That there's that recognition there, and people have been so excited. We've had this amazing photographer work with them, so we've had about 300 participants all had their portraits taken with their crowns on in various different guises, which you'll see with the posters. They've done some amazing works with that. We've created a trailer which has been screened at Cinema City.
So, which we love.
Cinema City, they've been stars. So they've also given us one of their film posters outside as part of the trails. So that's gone in there. And just advertising the trail until the end of it. You'll see before you see your feature film a little trailer of people. And we're working with the British Museum and Jarrold's. We had their shop window for across the Jubilee weekend, a little mini film festival at Cinema City, and performances as well that have been devised. So it's got a range of things, but hopefully the trail is the key thing that everybody can participate in, and then there's levels for them to.
When does the trail run until? It's on now, isn't it?
It's on now. It runs until 30th of June. It goes from Norwich Castle, the Cathedral, Cinema City, St John Market, Jarrold's, the Garage, all the way out. We've created a green walk all the way to the Sainsbury Centre.
Oh, right.
Yes, they're there. And the Sainsbury Centre, we've been working with them. They've created a Keeping It Regal inspired display called Sacred Sovereigns. And we've got a site-specific performance that we've devised within their exhibits this evening.
That's more culture than most people get in their lifetime in that trail, I would imagine, isn't it?
It was just trying to work the most favourable way where we could maximise participation.
Those sites as well, though, from a point of view of community importance and historical importance, that is seriously
going around.
Quite high level, isn't it? Really.
Around Norwich as well. It's good for the city.
It's really good. And introduces, they might be familiar with the castle but never have gone to the Garage before. With their children, they might. They might have gone to Jarrold's before but never been to the Sainsbury Centre, so you've got a legitimate reason to go there and to feel it's another way of connecting these disparate things for people.
Fabulous.
You've been busy.
That's an understatement, I'm guessing, from Anna's reaction there.
I've been a little busy.
Well, we are really excited. We're definitely going to explore that trail because
totally.
I personally, I agree with everything you said that trails are a great way to really connect and explore a place, connect with and explore a place in a kind of multi-dimensional way, and no more is that important as well in the post-COVID world. Obviously, it's outside, fresh air, but also most of the time, and in this case, it's free. So it's budget friendly, which is really
it had to be
crucial
free.
as well.
There had to be no barrier to participation. There are physical maps just coming down to basics, but on our first poster trail, we've just tried to explain how to use a QR code because it's another barrier, and you might say, well, everyone knows how. Actually, they don't because we've had experience of it's not.
Of course,
it's not there. So let's learn
probably
how
one
to
of
do
those.
that. That gives you access to a number of other things, and So
Fabulous.
That's really good, isn't it? Really,
I think
Great way to start the summer.
Great way to start the summer. I would just say, as well as bringing the people of Norwich together, we've got a fantastic community of cultural and other institutions as well, and the partnerships that we've had and the collaborations that we've had is just kind of testimony to how strong that is in this city.
So important for Norwich, isn't it? So important. And I've
really
always said
is.
we punch above our weight in terms of culture, which links back to our historical importance as a super important medieval city. And I think that to bring that right up to date and to not exploit it, because that's the wrong word, but make the most of it.
Make the most,
Why shouldn't we?
absolutely.
Why shouldn't we?
Absolutely.
You know?
And I think once you get the chance, often we're in our offices busying, etc. But this really gave me the opportunity to get back out into lots of various different places, and what people are doing are amazing. What they do at the garage is amazing. The students at Notre Dame High School, each time we're going and coming away with full hearts. It's like
so much to enjoy, so much to be proud of.
One last thing. And that is a big thing when we visited with our boys were the buckets, where you put the thing.
yes,
Do they still exist?
with the little buckets you take around, they most certainly
They
do.
do.
There are some things we change, but it's not going to be the buckets.
Buckets were great. They were really good. They're really just the ones. Love interaction with it.
Lovely, the
ours
tape
used to just
measures
take-
and the little magnifying glasses.
Ours would be like, they'd just put everything in and we'd be like,
Then-
leave
yeah.
some stuff for the other
I know.
children.
We tried to kind of just change them up, so they've got the basics that you'd expect, your familiar favourites, but also just add thematic pieces in, so there'll be
Such a cute
a
idea.
surprise,
Yeah,
regular
it's very good. They love it,
surprises.
don't
They
They do love it, and again, you're in, aren't you? Once you pick up your bucket, you're in.
Yeah.
You're official visitor. You've got jobs to do. You've got measuring to do and looking to do, and it's all going to be fine.
Oh, thank you so much, Anna. It's fantastic.
Thank you. It's lovely to speak with you.
Rosie, can you introduce sort of your role here at Norwich Castle and tell us a little bit about what you do, what you've been doing, what's coming up?
Yes, absolutely. Anna is such a joy to work with. It's been really fascinating hearing about all
The
of the
enthusiasm is
activities.
tangible,
Yeah,
which is
absolutely.
fabulous,
So
As it should be.
Absolutely. My role is connected very much to Anna's, but my responsibility is for the collection, a part of the collection specifically. So I look after part of the art collection, and my title is Modern and Contemporary Art. For people who might not be familiar with those terms, that basically means 20th and 21st century. So I look after, the art collection totals over 25,000 works. We have 3 curators that all look after a specific section. And so my remit is everything kind of post-1900.
Goodness me.
Yeah, it's a public collection. So I was just thinking about what Anna was describing. It is ours. It's for communities. It's for the city. It's for the county. So it's an amazing collection to work with, and we're still collecting,
Which is really cool. That's so exciting.
And so, how much of it is actually out on display?
That's exactly when you said all those pieces. I'm like, do you mean, because we always, it's so interesting, isn't it, when you visit museums and so much of it, only a small portion is ever on display.
I think it was interesting hearing Anna's kind of, you use the metaphor of a kind of person and you're changing and the kind of objects remains, but actually I see that from a different position. The kind of objects change, and then, different visitors, different moments, there might be a particular work that's relevant at that particular point in time, or you see different connections, and if the more you speak with people, the more you read, the more you interact with your audiences, different connections and points of contact emerge. So it's thinking about those things, and that's really kind of what a curator does essentially, is select, and often that can be in collaboration with audiences, it could be in collaboration with colleagues or as a result of a particular project or working with a particular artist. And so for audiences who come to the castle, what they're seeing is a relatively small proportion, but that changes and it continues to change.
Because I'd be like with that sort of collection. I'd go to where.
It all out.
Well, yeah, here you go. It'll
3 million objects.
Off you go.
I'd go to wherever it was stored. Do you like? Oh, I've never seen that bit before. I've never.
Have you seen all of the bits in the collection?
Yeah.
All of the bits that I have responsibility for. That's a diplomatic answer, isn't it? No. In terms of obviously the broader collection, no. We're all responsible for a different section, but I like to think that I know the collection.
Because are you ever surprised when you kind of pull something out and you're like, my goodness, this Picasso, I've never seen this before. Maybe not Picasso, I don't know, Copland or something. But
it's interesting. I think what I'm constantly surprised about is when you're speaking with colleagues and they'll bring out a certain object, and then you do realise, my gosh, I haven't actually seen that on display. I've only been in this role coming up to 3 years now. COVID kind of was a strange time in between, wasn't it? You have to kind of count up the years. For me, I'm still discovering stories, I'm still discovering narratives, of course. Those are, they're never ending. So even, one object, that always shifts.
Absolutely. And tell us about, so there's something exciting coming up of the world we live in. Tell us about that.
So, the world we live in, the full title is The World We Live In, Art and the Urban Environment. Mm-hmm. And this is an Arts Council collection touring show. So it's an exhibition that's been on display in Leicester and it's come to Norwich and it's going to be available to see here in our spaces in about 3 months. Mm-hmm. And the show itself, it's an incredible collection, the Arts Council collection. Amazing works, kind of over 8,000 in total, and there's over 30 in this particular show. 20 of them contemporary work. It includes artist films. So one of the films in the exhibition is, just to warn you, is over 80 minutes long. So there are sofas, there are chairs, you can make yourself at home if you're planning a visit. But there's also sculpture, painting, and it's, I suppose, exploring in the very broadest way what cities mean to us today, thinking about the urban environment, different people's experiences with the urban environment, and how artists have responded to that. So, thinking about noise, pollution, crowds, migration, architecture, all those kind of different facets of the urban environment that we encounter in our daily lives. And it's really interesting kind of thinking of Norfolk as, because it is largely a rural county, but our urban centres are really important. And exactly as Anna was describing earlier, that idea of kind of cities needing to do something different now. I feel that's a really important question that we all need to be thinking about going forwards.
Yeah, definitely.
How they can connect with how they can connect with the change that's affected the human population, I suppose, and how they can serve us and how we can interact with them to kind of evolve and move forward, I suppose. Yeah, absolutely. And that's going in now, isn't it? And it's
so it opens to the public this Saturday, the 21st of May, runs until early September.
Fabulous. How exciting.
Yeah. Come to that
Look
one.
forward to seeing that. Well, hopefully we might get a little sneak peek in a bit. Do you have, this might be too tricky a question, I don't know, but do you have a favourite piece? Or pieces, or what's been the sort of your favourite thing that is in Norwich Castle, or an exhibition you've been involved in, or do you have a favourite?
Yes, and I do get asked that question quite a lot as a curator, and it's a fascinating one because it actually makes you think about, gosh, do I have a favourite? The answer is no.
Is it like children? You can't pick a favourite?
Exactly. I think there are works at a particular time that you find, really thought-provoking, and there was a recent painting that came into the collection just prior to my arrival as curator of modern contemporary art by an incredible artist called Lisa Neisenbaum, and the title is Sunday in Brooklyn, or that's a shorter title. And it was acquired in response to a body of research which revealed, and this is common sadly across lots of museum collections, that there's a real discrepancy with work by women artists. So it was around 7% at that moment when the research was done, a few years back now, and this painting was a contribution, if you like, a kind of, obviously you're not going to solve all of those issues with what an acquisition, but it really
starting to try and redress the balance
in thinking about those sorts of biases within the collection.
So interesting, actually, because we recently went to the Scottish Women Artists exhibition at the Sainsbury's Centre, and what was so absolutely, we are so used to seeing exhibitions where almost all the pieces are by male artists, or sole exhibitions by male artists, and it's perfectly, and no one ever sort of questions it, do they? And to see this body of work by all female artists, it was extraordinary, and just to realise how valuable their contribution has been as well, particularly to contemporary art, but going back as well, it was really, so it's really interesting.
And you mentioned they're still increasing the collection.
Absolutely. It's interesting because I talk a lot with audiences, deliver a lot of events. Well, kind of pre-COVID we did, obviously we're doing more going forwards, but they're always really surprised that we've got a collection of 20th and contemporary artwork here at the castle. And we've got some really kind of, thinking about the kind of 20th century as a whole and those names that really stand out. I'm going Andy Warhol. Exactly. And so I think, I feel that part of my role is actually introducing audiences to that collection, why we're collecting, why it's important for museums to not remain static, to move forwards and to think about the future. And so when you're entering information about a new artwork into a kind of, it's a database essentially, but what you're thinking about is not just who's going to see this in a year or 5 or 10 years time, but 100, 150, 200. And when you start thinking about it in those terms, of course we've got to collect, we've got to keep that going.
That's a really that's a really interesting way of looking at it, actually. Because we also, personally, we're fixed in the now and thinking about that. But absolutely, we're thinking about the visitors to Norwich Castle of, 20, 50, 70 years' time. Extraordinary.
When our kids bring
their kids,
their kids along to the castle as well. And they'll see bits that are the same. We've all seen all the way through. But then all these new aspects as well.
But then we also have, kind of permanent display. So that's when we put a work of art on display for a kind of longer period. So the world we live in that I described earlier, that's what we call a temporary show. So it comes for a specific period. But it's really amazing to see that kind of relationship that forms between our audiences in a particular work. If it's taken down for any reason, if we lend it to an external organisation and it's not there, lots of our visitors will question, where is that work? What's happened to it? So it's really nice to think that there's that relationship, that kind of connection, that kind of sense of coming to visit because of a particular artist or a particular work.
It's interesting actually. I always notice the space in a museum display when a piece is out on loan. And it's a really strange feeling. It's like, you're looking around the exhibition and there's just a notice that says this piece is out on loan. And it's like there's a space, a void, a gap. And I think that in itself is quite an interesting thing, actually. It's quite strange. Fabulous. Well, very exciting. Well, we're looking forward to a little perhaps sneak peek of the goings on in a moment. But before we leave it here today, we're obliged to ask, aren't we?
We are.
As a podcast about Norfolk. We'll start with you. So, what are your favourite things about Norwich and Norfolk?
It's a very hard question for 2 reasons. One, that I love Norfolk so much. And 2, I don't want to tell anybody my favourite spaces because it'll get really busy. It's going to get really busy. I'm really torn here. If you just give me a moment to struggle with my conscience.
You just have to mention another one.
Okay, so what I can tell you, I absolutely love the beaches, and I'm often going after work in the summer to swim and whole days. I've been known to get quite bad-tempered with people if they want to go home before the sun's gone down over the dune and there's still sun to be had. I'm like, what are you doing? The contract was we make breakfast, lunch and supper and we don't go home until we've had all of them. Absolutely. I mean, come on. Slightly linked to that and definitely, possibly, this could be my favourite road in Norfolk. And because I'm just visiting the coast so much, my other thing that going to be difficult about is, can we not go home the main roadway? Can we go home the pretty way? And the pretty way is the byway to Susted, which runs from, if you come up the hill from Sheringham or Cromer, and I can't remember the name of the road because I don't go on the big roads, to B11 something. go straight over, and you literally, it's like a drop in music. You go into it, it drops through the wood and through the trees. Then there's this ancient forest down one of the side gates of Felbrig, and then it just wends its way through the most beautiful countryside until you get to Elsham, really.
Yeah.
And you go past fords, and you go past cattle, and you go past beautiful things. Nobody's ever on it. It has some of the Danes, and the grass is still just down the middle of the grass.
I love that. Yeah.
And because you've stayed until you finished your supper, it means it's dusk, which means the deer are out, and the hares are out, and the owls are out, and so...
That's absolutely wonderful. I love you've got a favourite route. No one's ever said that.
I'm actually writing a poem about it as well.
Oh, you share that.
Fabulous.
I love that. That's absolutely wonderful. Wow. And we will go and check it out, but no one else must, because it will become very proud of it.
When this goes
Forget
live,
about it instantly,
just bleep when I say byway to bleep. Then
we don't want to meet anyone.
There's not enough room to pass the cars,
You can learn it, but instantly forget about it.
Exactly.
But every time I do that, everybody thinks we're lost. When
you go, when we mock you for going on magical mystery.
Well, literally, I don't know.
Sometimes you are lost, to be
It's
honest.
good to get off the
It's
main
really
road.
good to get lost, because you see things, it's like we've walked the whole of the coast, backwards and forwards, and despite going to regular beaches all the time, there's all these bits of the coast that you've never seen. You think you know your coast, and I thought, I am not going to die not knowing my coastline. So hence the trudge began.
Good for you. Wow, you enjoy Norfolk almost as much as we do. Wow, good for you. Oh, I love that, Anna. That's fabulous. And Rosie, what about yourself?
Wow, I just can't even think of one thing. So, as Anna was talking about roads, oh my goodness. So, the road,
She set the
April
bar
Strait,
high.
yeah. I mean, you can't get any better than that, can you? Going in either direction to Yarmouth, which is one of my favourite towns in Norfolk, to back to Norwich. Either way, it's an incredible experience with those skies and that landscape. I lived in North Norfolk. I'm now in the city recently, and so I feel like I'm discovering Norwich all over again. I knew the city, but the plantation gardens, like amazing, just off Earlham Road, and I could eat my way around Norfolk quite happily in Norwich. But my favourite place in Norwich at the moment is Exo Kitchen down near the art school. Incredible restaurant, doing amazing food. So I really would encourage people to visit and to eat.
Fabulous.
It's going to take you some time to get out of Norwich, right?
It is. I've got too much to do.
So much
I'll
to
be here
play
for the
for
next
sweet, isn't
decade.
it? Yeah.
It's
So much
fine.
to eat.
I'm happy with that.
Different routes to take.
Oh, wonderful. Well, thank you so much, ladies, for your time today and all your insight, and so much to look forward to. We are really excited about this summer because we've got all the stuff going on at the castle. We've got the Keeping It Regal Trail, and then it goes straight into the Dinosaur Trail, which we're going to talk about in future podcast episodes. And it's just wonderful to see families out and about enjoying Norwich and learning about it and connecting with the city. It really floats our boat. So,
thank you so
brilliant.
much. Lovely to speak with you.
No problem. Thank you.
So we're going into the main, we call this like our main exhibition space.
Yep.
Hi, Kate. Thank you.
Very good. Lovely. So this is the space where a lot of the kind of like touring exhibition.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we tend to change this space kind of maybe twice, 3 times a year.
Yeah.
And that's for several reasons. It's to give audiences obviously a kind of variety in terms of content. Sometimes the shows will relate to our collections. Sometimes it might be a particular artist that we're looking at. Sometimes, it just could be a particular theme that we want to highlight and focus on more.
And if you can hear, listeners, the drilling and everything in the background, it's because the exhibition is literally going up as we speak.
It is.
Which is interesting because we don't normally get to see this.
Also, so much work.
It is
So many works as well.
It always looks more when it's placed like this. So ordinarily in terms of our approach to putting up an exhibition, we work with our technicians, we work with our display teams, our conservators, everybody's involved in putting a show together. and this afternoon we're actually going to be placing it on the wall. So when I've left you, that's the bit where I come into the space and work with the team as well.
And is that your favourite bit, when you can stand back and it's like...
Yeah, absolutely. We were talking about this earlier, and for a curator, from my point of view, this is when I hand very much over to our team. Yeah. They, are doing an incredible job here. And then it's open to the public and it's for audiences to decide.
Nearly there, how exciting.
That picture there, I think, is the one that's promoting.
It is, yeah.
It's a lot bigger than I thought it was, actually. It's amazing.
It is. It's a work by Michael Andrews, who was born in Norwich, in fact. And so this particular work is really incredible to have it in our spaces.
They're just taking the bubble wrap off or something.
Exactly. And so it will be placed just here behind you.
How wonderful.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's interesting to see the work that goes.
Huge amounts. I was going to say, has it been years in the making?
So this particular show is curated by the Arts Council Collection too, so we work very closely with them as in a partnership, but it's curated by themselves. And in terms of kind of work from our point of view, it's thinking about our spaces in Norwich, thinking about how best it works here. Obviously we know the spaces. So that's where the partnership really comes in.
Yeah. Is that photography? That one there?
Yeah, so the Arts Council Collection have an incredible documentary photography collection, and so we've got a number of works as part of this exhibition, so they're going to be placed all alongside this wall here.
Wonderful.
So they look at across the UK, Newcastle, Birmingham, really amazing works, so yeah, do encourage people to look.
It's fabulous.
That was really fascinating speaking to Anna and Rosie, wasn't it? At Norwich Castle.
What lovely ladies, and so passionate, about their roles there. As you would be, fabulous.
That really
place to work.
came across, didn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm actually a little bit gutted. I've just realised I didn't ask them about ghosts.
Next time.
I missed the opportunity to ask if the castle might be haunted. But anyway, one thing. So while we actually at the end of that interview, so it wasn't part of the recording, but we continued the discussion ever so briefly before we sort of wound up. And one thing Anna mentioned, which I wish I had recorded now, was that everything they do there is planned from a point of view of health and well-being.
Yes.
So all the events, all the family activities, is how much benefit it will be for the health and well-being of the community, and that's such a modern and fantastic way of looking at the way museums are within the community. I love
great
that.
Core goal of the
ethos
whole,
kind of thing. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I thought that was absolutely fantastic, fascinating. We're really excited about doing the Keeping It Regal Trail. We've done a bit of it, actually. We did a little bit of it.
We did afterwards. We went
ourselves.
Out.
And also going to see the World We Live in Art and the Urban Environment.
I'm really looking forward to that. I love that sort of thing.
Opens tomorrow. This goes out on Friday the 20th, so it opens tomorrow. It's on until September, so you've got the whole summer to see it. Yeah. And from the very brief sneak peek we were allowed to see, probably for the best, it looks amazing, doesn't it?
It really does, yeah.
Fantastic. So if you have any comments about Norfolk Museums or specifically Norwich Castle that we've kind of focused on in this particular episode, do get in touch with us. Our website's enjoyingnorfolk.co.uk, or you can connect with us via social media, Instagram, Facebook and Twitter. We always love to hear from you. As we said at the beginning, we are going to return in a couple of episodes' time with a second parter of the Norfolk Museums, discussing a bit more about our experiences and visits that we've actually had to the various Norfolk Museums, because we have been many times and we've had many fabulous times.
We've got plenty of experiences being to all those museums, haven't we?
Absolutely, yeah. And I think that we've got a really diverse range of museums in this county, and obviously we're also really lucky to have such an active and sort of forward-thinking museum service, aren't we?
Yeah, very active. All the events and everything they do.
Really.
It seems to be lots going on with the museum service.
Which is brilliant. So have a look at their website, museums.norfolk.gov.uk. Keep an eye on our socials, and we will be back in a couple of weeks with another new episode. In the meantime, we hope you stay well and continue to enjoy Norfolk, and we look forward to speaking with you again soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.